Hello. So today I'm going to keep working on some of the junk journal tags and things that I'm making for my Christmas gingerbread junk journal. Okay, so I'm going to make 4 large tags, basically. I did that in all my other junk journals, and they turned out really well. Actually, I made 5, I think, of most of them, but which I might do now. So, and this is how I did it, and I liked this method, so I'm going to do it again. So that'll make 3. So I get 4 pages, so it's the kind of thickness that I like, because these pages are kind of thin, because this is like vintage book, so the pages are really like thin and delicate. So, okay, so now that I've got the amount, one thing I do first, so after I rip them out, before I do any cutting, I find gluing them together is more beneficial, because then sometimes you don't get it glued exactly straight, as hard as you try. And because of that, if you cut first and then glue, you have to cut again usually to straighten it back out. This means there's less I cut, and I only cut once. So I just do my best to line it up, but it does not have to be perfect. And I use the permanent glue stick. And you can use, like I've used in the past, the Tomboy glue for this. I haven't used fabric tack for this, but you could. But the reason I like the glue stick is it's less wrinkles, a lot less wrinkles. Which the Tomboy, because it's water-based, actually has quite a bit of wrinkles. That wrinkles the paper. The silicone ones do that less. So fabric tack works okay for it, but it still wrinkles it a bit until it's like dry, and even then it still kind of is like a permanent wrinkling, which isn't always a bad thing, but because it does age it a little bit. But this is already lovely aged paper, and I don't know, I just like it. Like it wrinkles it a lot less, so it's a lot smoother and flatter. So then after gluing it, that's when I start cutting the edges off so that it is straight. And I use the mat, to help me get it all straight for when I cut. And then I just cut up against the ruler, and it's still kind of gluey on here a little bit, but see, and then it's straight edge. And after I get it lined up, I then cut several times. And sometimes it does look a little wonky before it looks straight, because you're like, why is it looking wonky? I'm cutting straight, but until you cut all the sides straight, it'll look a little wonky. So don't fear and be like, what am I doing wrong? It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just of all the sides, but like 2 or 1 aren't cut, it looks wonky. Or even when you do the first cut one, even if it's straight, it looks really wonky because the other sides aren't straight. So I just remember that at first, when I first did it, was like, what the heck did I do wrong? But then I just kept going. I was like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. So you just gotta have faith in the process. Yeah. And actually, I think I might cut off a little bit more off the bottom, purely because I just like it that way. Okay. I don't like too much. And I just press up against the ruler as I cut. See? Straight. And you don't have to cut as much off the bottom as I did. You kept it longer. They're all not exact same size, so. And see, now it's like perfectly straight. So even if you didn't get perfectly lined up, if you cut it after, it looks like you did. So there's one. And I will be distressing these and then decorating them. And then I will be sewing them at the end. And then hole punching and putting, after I sew, I hole punch. So I make sure to hole punch in the right spot. So I don't sew over it. And then I put the fabric or ribbon on. And these can be made quite quickly. 2, 4. They're one thing I like making because they are quick, they're fast, they're easy. And they always turn out looking awesome. So because it's fast to rip them out of the book, it's fast to glue them, it's fast to cut off all the sides. Ooh, well, that's never happened before. I was obviously a little too rough, but that's okay. Because that'll be on the back anyway, and it's just for me. And one of mine had a tiny little tear that I made in my sister's book, but actually it looked really good because I added distress ink to it, and it really aged it up, so that's okay. So don't be distressed if that happens, and if it really bothers you, just get a new page, throw that one away. But it doesn't bother me. And these are French papers from the vintage French book that I got to make my mother's junk journal. The first junk journal I ever made, actually. This is the 5th junk journal I'll have ever made, so I'm extremely new to making junk journals. But I really, really like it. And then there's another style I want to try that I learned from Crafty Girl that she does that. She learned from Rebecca Hoots. That looks fun as well. So okay, sorry, I just gotta line this up. Sometimes it takes me a minute. I'm not the best measure compared to maybe some other people, but I'm not terrible at it either, so. And these sides, I've just learned to just cut off enough. The bottom is the one I usually cut the most off, just because of all the empty space. But if you like an empty space, just leave it. And this is really nice because it just rolls. Ooh. That probably just happened because of the glue that's on the mat a little bit. Yeah, I think I just gotta scrape it off a little bit. Because a little bit of glue obviously gets on the mat as you're gluing stuff, so it happens. It's okay. It's like a tiniest little sliver that didn't cut off, but there. And sometimes with this I do cut crooked, but then I just remind myself to go over it several times and push against the ruler, and then it fixes it. So there, it's all straight. There's number 2. Right. And I'm making 5, 4 to just randomly put in my journal wherever I want them, and then 1, I like putting a paper bag on one of the pages and decorating it. And I'll probably decorate it more Christmassy this time, but and then I like to put it in the big part of the bag. If you've seen my other junk journal videos, you'll know what I'm talking about with my other flip-throughs. See, that one I got way off, even though I didn't think I did. But that's okay, because we're going to cut it all at the end. And you won't be able to tell. So that's another reason why I do it at the end, is because most of the time I do pretty good lining it up, but I never do perfect. But sometimes I have a moment like that where it's like, what the heck? Did you just have a major brain fart? Yes, apparently. I had an aneurysm when lining that up, apparently. And that's okay. That's okay. That's why we cut it at the end. Yeah, this one got lined up way worse, but that's okay. It's okie dokie. Square it up. There and there. And now you can't even see the boo-boo of how badly I lined it up on that side anyway. I just gotta do the bottom. Oops. See, that cut kind of went off. It wasn't straight, but that's okay. Just go over it a few times and make sure at least a couple of your cuts are where they're supposed to be, and it's fine. So, ta-da. I just got 2 more. And you can use tons of glue when gluing this together. I choose not to use tons and tons of glue because it is like a permanent glue, so honestly you don't need tons of it. At least for this thin kind of a paper. Plus I glue it down right away, so I usually don't with this project have any pull-ups like I have with some of the other ones where I was doing the wrapping paper on the back of the scrapbook paper, because it was a bigger space that I was gluing down and I wasn't going quite as fast or using as heavy as a hand as I probably should have. But this is really thin paper, so just using a little bit seems to work more than just fine. So. And I find by also using less, along with this kind of like a glue stick, you can use a regular glue stick as well. I've done that too and it works just fine. Not as long though. I find that this kind of glue, the permanent, works better, but if all you can afford right now is just a regular glue stick from the store, then go with that. So but yeah, so I find there's a lot less wrinkling from like too much glue wrinkling, you know, on thin paper when I use thin amounts and when I use the glue sticks. So this side is always my most favorite. The 2 long sides are my favorite, but this side, with when you rip it out of the book, is my favorite to cut off because it's just so satisfying, you know? But so is the other side because it shows how I misaligned papers. So I like cutting that off too, so. See, ta-da. And as you can see, none of them are all the exact same size, but they're close. And honestly, if that bothers you, then make them all the same size. But like measure them, cut them. But for me, that doesn't bother me. I actually like it, not everything the exact same size. If you do, then by all means, make them all the same size. gosh, this paper just wants to move all over the place. And after making these, like, you can leave the regular book paper and then just distress and put pictures on it, quick and easy, and then sew it. That's what I did with a lot of the other ones. But if you wanted, you could cover it in fabric, you could cover it in scrapbook paper, tissue paper, like, you could cover it in any of that stuff to decorate it. There's a part of me that wants to do it in the scrapbook paper, the plaid, or in the fabric that I have, because it would be pretty and cute. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But I kind of also like the book paper look as well. Especially with all the stuff going on in the journal already. It'll just kind of give it an aged look and a little easier kind of a look than just adding more, like, you know, patterns and stuff. Oops. Okay, it's still sticky. It's always so satisfying. Look at that. So another reason why I like making these ones is they're really, really satisfying. And ta-da! Now, they're all made. Now I just gotta decide what I want to do with them. Oh, look, and I found more of this tissue paper that I've held on to for a while, because I like this as well. I thought it was very Christmassy. These ones I could use puffy stickers. I think I'm going to distress them first. That's usually my go-to. This is just vintage photo. Actually, my mom's journal, I rarely use the vintage photo distress ink. I use the walnut one. And then the next journal I made, I used both walnut and vintage photo because I was like, I need to use vintage photo a little more, but I used walnut mostly. And then the third and fourth journal I made, I started really liking the vintage photo more. Like, I don't know. Your taste, depending on the journal you're making, just depends, doesn't it? So, and this one I'm using more black than I have in the previous ones to represent soot from Santa. And because these are still drying, they're not stiff yet. Once they're all the way dry, this glue does stiffen up. So they're a lot more thick and stiff and firm. So after I'm done like distressing or decorating them, I flatten them out really good and let them lay somewhere flat until they're all the way dry before I sew them. Like, I will not sew them until they're all the way dry. And these, because they're old vintage papers and they're already really lovely aged, they take on this distress ink really well. Like, really well. And I like that. And they're already like a cream colored because they're really aged well. Yeah, as you see, this goes rather quickly, making a bunch fast. I don't have to work as hard to age this paper as I do some like newer papers that for some reason don't soak up the ink or take on the ink as easily as this vintage book paper does. And I like doing the front and back because I decorate the front usually, and then the back I leave blank with the paper. Which I could put like plain writing paper on there, like lined paper to write on, or something else to decorate it if I wanted, but I'm okay with leaving it just the book paper. I think it gives it something different and special. And on the last one, I'll show you up close what it looks like after being distressed. And I'll show you even up close this one before I distress it, and then I'll show you after. Because sometimes you can't always see it on camera how well. Or even I'll show you like back here, see? not distressed on the back yet. And then I'll show you up close what it looks like after it's distressed. And then that's it, distress up close. Okay. And it shows better in person than even on camera, but still. And I have been sick, like, for the last few days. My daughter had croup really bad, even all the way up to Christmas Eve. And still Christmas she was too, but she woke up Christmas morning feeling a lot better. Because I stayed up with her really late that night, taking care of her, especially where she's got diabetes. Like, so she could wake up feeling, you know, better. For Christmas. And so I think I got some of the sickness from her even. So trying to decide if I want to use some ribbon. I think I definitely want to use some ribbon. Just gotta decide what ribbon I want to use. Might use this one. And this, you could just stick it on it as is, because this isn't like a normal window cling. It's like more like a sticker. Yeah, it's definitely not like a window cling, even though you buy it as a window cling set. But I like to stick glue on it just to make sure it's going to stick. And now I'm just thinking, I just distressed it. Why would I put ribbon on and cover up all that distressing? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not sure. this. You could even use Fabri-Tac glue if you'd rather than the glue stick. Some things I definitely choose Fabri-Tac over the glue stick, but other things I definitely don't. I may stick this over here now because I didn't put that quite up far enough. That's another thing, like, I sometimes forget to do is hold it up and measure first before I glue stuff down or put glue on it. That'll work. Sorry, I keep leaning back off camera. It's just because it feels better to kind of lean back a little bit because I'm leaning forward so much. But okay, come on. One. It's super sticky though, so you probably don't really even need the glue. I'm just putting it on so it's like a permanent thing, you know, because sometimes the stuff you get from Dollar Tree, the stickers or the glue or whatever that they have on something will work for temporary, like a little bit, but not like as a permanent forever kind of thing. So that's why I'm kind of like, I want it. Crap, a lot of glue put on that I didn't realize. Bless me, excuse me. Use glue stick, just get the excess glue that was on my fingers from getting it off there. Ta-da! Just stick that there. And if you don't like something that I'm doing, you don't have to, you know, do it. Like me, you know. You can do it however you like. Just realizing I like this bit over there. And I'm still deciding on the ribbon or not, but I might, even though I distress, because it's still going to be distressed on the other side. So I might still do the ribbon. I think it'll give a pop that it kind of needs. So this is extremely sticky though, so maybe I'll try one. See how that goes. I'm going to use one of these trees. I'm hoping to use this tree, but I think it's going to be too big. Yeah, it's too big, so I'll use this tree instead. I just thought that was a lot of brown. I don't know if I'll be able to. It's going to put there, but. I still got one more to decorate. Yes. This one's a little, so I'll probably cut that off. Fine, flipping it like that makes it so you can actually see it properly to cut it off. At least better. It's like sticking to me. Trying to decide what to put down here, if anything. I should have maybe centered it more. And I really like this card. I want to make one. Something but I have several cards. So I like that. I'm gonna do that. Oakley, honey, stop. Maybe I'll put that up there. Like that. Oakley, stop. Oops. If I had a good like a circle puncher, I maybe punch these out, but I don't really, so I don't know. I might use that in the future, I may not, I don't know. I actually kind of like the way this one turned out. I like this one a lot. I like the glittery trees. I like that bow I use up there. Super cute. I think. Might like it on this one. So, do you guys have any good, like, Netflix, recommendations at all? Of anything, like, that you guys are watching? That's really good. I do really like, a lot of shows, actually. My husband and I are recently into Outlander, but we have, like, Scottish ancestry, so we, especially my husband's side, but, my side does too. So we really like that. We also really like, I love Wednesday. I'm sure lots of you do. Okay, so one of my favorite Netflix Christmas movies, it was the last year I think it came out maybe, but I found it this year. Maybe it came out this year, I don't know, but it's called Love Hard. So if you haven't seen that, even though Christmas is over, you should watch it, because it is a Christmas movie, but it's also like, you know, it would be fine as a winter movie also. Like, it's really, really good. Sorry, I gotta move my leg. Ugh. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. I keep bumping it. Okay. But it's really funny, and it's romantic. Definitely romantic comedy. But it's actually super cute and super sweet, so. So if you're looking for a good kind of movie like that, do that one. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen Eurovision, but it's got Will Smith. It's been out for quite a while. But it's another one I'm like obsessed with on Netflix. Look at that. It's so pretty. But yeah, I'm like obsessed with it. It's just awesome. Do more gold, but I did this on the candy cane one. I have like no nails, so it's like hard to get. Oh, those really stick after you put them on there. Because I ripped a little bit of the paper off. I'm gonna have to put some glue on that. Just stick it up a little further. I know some of these that it's harder to put ribbon on. I don't think I will, like this. Like, it'll cover up too much puffy sticker. Yeah, these puffy sticker ones, I think I'm just gonna sew them and leave them like that, because it'll just, yeah, I think it'll just look better. Sorry, I keep moving. My legs are killing me for being scratched up. Okay, so I got those done. Okay, so I got lots of things on here. I have these different colored, I'm using these two colors for something else I'm doing, but these index cards, this is more like a greenish, it's like teal, bluish, greenish, but then they have this gold one. I might use the gold ones and decorate. And I might decorate this side so then they're signed with lines I can write on. This hot chocolate one guy. These gumdrops. I like the little bit of glitter on them. It's cute. Okay, and I will be sewing this. And I think because this is like a cookie situation, I'm gonna do a little bit of charcoaling. Like Santa's come over and examine the cookie. This is a gingerbread cookie. I guess I could have done that on the other cards I just did because they're all like cookies, but I already did the other distressing, so that's the one we're going to stick with. Okay, now I think I'm going to do some of these with...
Mom, Dad?
No. Sorry, I'm answering my child. Ask me a question. Ooh, I might do this one. I really like this pattern too. There's actually a lot of patterns that I like. Look at that. Yeah. I'm just going to use black mainly just to do these edges so you don't see. White, basically. But I like that because I can write on the back and decorate the front. Ooh. I need to find, where is it? Some of these. Oh my gosh, these images are just everything for real. Dang, it's too small. Some of these, I should have gone this route instead of the puffy route. See how cute that would be. But I like this pattern. I'm going to use that whole image, so I can't use that right there. I'll have to cut a little bit off, but I like that. It's super cute. My kids, if you can hear them, they're fighting in the background, which is irritating because they know I'm in here filming. And that's when they fight. They're old enough to be left alone for a little bit of time. They're like 7 and 9. My oldest has level 1 autism and ADHD, and my youngest has a little bit of ADHD, and they suspect a learning disability, but they don't know which one yet. But my youngest also has type 1 diabetes and celiac disease, for those who don't know. And those are actually autoimmune diseases that are genetic. It's not anything that anyone can prevent off a diet, because it's an autoimmune disease. So the body attacks the pancreas and kills it. So then you have type 1 diabetes for the rest of your life. It's irreversible. Look how cute. Gosh. So yeah. And celiac is also an autoimmune, and a lot of kids or people who have type 1 diabetes end up getting celiac disease or Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's my grandma actually has, but it's an autoimmune as well. But it's basically where your thyroid gets killed off and doesn't work anymore, and that creates lots of problems. And celiac, which my daughter has, also means, for those who don't know, that she can't have gluten. And if when she did eat gluten before we got her diagnosed, she wasn't growing. And it's because, even though we were treating her diabetes, she wasn't growing. And that was because there's little things in your intestines that are like little fingers, like this. And as you eat food and the food passes through, those absorb the nutrients. And and when you eat gluten and you have celiac, the autoimmune, it makes those lay down flat. So they're not like this, they're flat. And that makes it, so your body's not absorbing the nutrients, and it causes a lot of pain, stunted growth, a lot of hair loss. Like some people have been diagnosed late enough that they lost a tooth, like an adult tooth, just rotted out of their head because they're not absorbing nutrients. And that's just, awful. And my daughter was losing hair. She was like just not thriving at all. But by getting diagnosed and then 6 months not eating gluten, it made it so those stood back up again and can absorb nutrients again. So she's actually started growing really a lot more rapid for her after we took her off of gluten, after being diagnosed with celiac. And celiac is something like they run blood tests for it, and if the numbers are really, really high for it as an indicator, then they, look how cute that is. Then they tell you to go get, take your kids to another doctor that does a scope, and they look at the intestines. So that's how you get diagnosed with celiac. So it's not like an easy thing. And type 1, they can also diagnose you through blood work. And there is a difference between type 1 and type 2. Type 2 is something that is reversible based off of your diet. Type 1 is not reversible ever because your body killed your pancreas because it's an autoimmune disease. So anyone who thinks you can cure type 1 with food is very wrong. If that was the case, my daughter would be healed, because no way would I let her eat certain things. And like with her celiac, I don't let her eat gluten at all. I'm very careful with cross-contamination. It's very hard to go out to eat. It's also very hard to eat at families' homes unless they're willing to be super careful, because I don't know, a lot of family we have, they're not the most careful with cross-contamination, and she gets sick often when going over to their houses and eating, like grandparents. My mom, though, is very, very good at that, because it, stresses her out the thought of giving her accidental gluten. So when she's around, she absolutely takes so many precautions, which I appreciate. And my husband's family, they don't want to glutenize her either, but they don't, I don't know, they're a lot more relaxed about it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can be, and that's why she gets sick when going over there, because they're a little too relaxed. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to both sides. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with my kids. Just a generalization with my kids. I'm not going to give you so many specifics. I'm not going to tell you if my kids take medicines or if they do, what kind they do. Obviously my daughter takes insulin if she's type 1 diabetic, but I'm not going to give you all the information on that either. So And these cards are fun. And I can make any of them into tags that I want. I think I'm going to keep them. That happens all the time with me for some reason. But I'm going to probably keep them into cards. But if I change my mind and make any of them into tags, I will definitely let you guys know and see that. I have so much glue all over me, it's ridiculous. All the time. I'm not one of those super clean crafters. Like, I clean up after I'm done. So I'm clean that way. And I don't make tons of mess while I'm doing it, but I seriously get so much glue all over my fingers, it's ridiculous. And all over my board. Get glue all over the place. Okay. Can I just say these vintage window clings, these Christmas ones are just everything. Oh my gosh. Like, they're literally just everything wonderful and special. Like, I think they're gonna make my journal just so adorable. They're so cute. These are turning out to be my favorite. And the Nutcracker one I did with you guys yesterday, oh my gosh. It's so beyond cute. I like it. Look how cute that is. This Merry Christmas. It's so cute. These other ones are big. I mean, they've got the little ones there too, but these I think I'm gonna have to either make, I might just glue them on pages directly in my journal because they're so big. I also wanted to make a shaker card today, but I mean, this video's been going a long time. This video I might cut it in half because of how long this video is going for. Like, I wanted to make this into a shaker card. Maybe I will. Okay, so what I was thinking, gotta find the bag. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. So in this bag, I've saved, like, you know, when you get stickers from Dollar Tree or whatever, and you get like these things. I've been saving them, actually. see if this one fit. I don't think it, maybe it will. Look at that. Maybe. Make an easier shaker card if it will. But you can use like even like a bill envelope that you get or something. I'll pull this down slightly. It's kind of a snug fit, but that's okay. So I like to save all those kind of things, you know. This one might work better though, because it's bigger, and the way this folds over, yeah, that might work better. So, because there's a hole at the top, and I'm just like, we're just gonna fall out everywhere, but it still might with this one, but it'll be easier to kind of fix that situation. So take that out and use that other one. Okay. Okay, open this back up. And I use these too when I was making the specimen cards as well. So that's kind of fun, huh? You can use them for lots of things instead of buying this kind of material off of Amazon. You can just use it from Dollar Tree items you buy, or any items that you buy. That's gonna work better. Okay. Sorry, that was a lot off camera. I didn't realize. So, okay. I gotta find the glitter I have. Oh my gosh, stuff's falling out everywhere. Okay. This one. There it is. Found it. Okay. Okay. So what colors am I going to use? Definitely some red. I want to use white or green, because there's a little bit of green, or just red. Don't know. Might use just red. Try to be careful with this. It's a little more than I was planning. Ugh. Well, I'm making a mess, guys. My husband won't like that because he hates this kind of stuff. That's definitely more than I was planning on using. I'm finding where to put that envelope. That card. Here we go. And I'll just stick some of this in here until I can get a Ziploc baggie. I'm gonna put more in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that down where it's not gonna have a problem. How's that? And I should have glued this so it doesn't have a problem moving around in there, but I think I'm gonna like glue it like that. So okay. So now I need some paper. This one, but I don't like that one with that one. Maybe. Do that one. I was going to use the one that had a bit of blue in it, but I can't find it. It must be gone, so I want to look through here. Oops, not this one. Find the one that had a bit of blue. There it is. I think that this one will look best because of all the blue from the night sky. Yeah, I think it'll look better. Yes, better. WeatherTech glue. Put quite a bit to really make sure it adheres well. And it is getting a little like oozing out a bit, but I'll just put a little bit of ribbon on that and you won't see that after. So, all right, where's my scissors? There they are. I'm just going to do a rough cut to get this detached. And I'm being very careful not to cut the plastic. Stay sealed. Okay, card keeps moving around. And this. Going to glue. Yeah. Some of that glitter get down there. And the bottom I'm gluing down because there's a lot of glue. I mean, a lot of glitter. Too much glitter. It's all just dumped out. It's lovely when that happens, isn't it? With crafting. And my husband like hates glitter, like detests it, so I know he's gonna be like really annoyed. But I'm gonna, that's on here, I'm gonna dump it in the garbage and then anything on the bed just sweep off and then vacuum the floor. It'll be fine. So, because it's big chunky glitter, it's not like little bits of glitter. Oh, see, look, that worked better because I glued most of it down there now. See, and there's a lot on the back too. So like, it looks a little bit better. This still gives you that shaker card. Okay, I'll glue this one down. That all glued down. Ooh. Got glue leaking out all over me over here. I haven't been doing that the whole time, so that's why I'm like shocked. I'm like, what the? Yeah. And glue all over me. Okay. There. And again, I'm going to use some ribbon, so I know it's getting like, it's just a mess for me. I've never made a shaker card before, so obviously it's a bit of a mess where I've never done this before, so. Alright, just got one more. Put it down. Okay. Now, what ribbon do I want to use? I want to use gold, this candy canes, might use this one with candy canes. Oh, you know what one I should use? Okay, I'm changing my plan. I was like, I need a thin one, but the thin one I had is a gingham one and it won't match the other plaid. And then I remembered this one. Okay, this one, I should definitely do this one because it'll cover up a lot of that glue issue without covering up things I don't want to cover. And it'll give some more pop of green, which I love. Okay, perfect. I'm excited. Okay, this thin green ribbon is like everything. Actually, I got it at Dollar Tree even, so go get you some. I mean, they still should probably have it. But last thing I'm gonna make for today. And then I'll probably see you guys again tomorrow while I keep working on my journal. Oh my gosh. This is like turning out to be like one of my next favorite things. It's so good. So cute. Vintage. It's a fun little shaker card. It's got plaid. It's just so cute. I even kind of like the little crisscross of the fabric. I'm just going to cut it that's over the edges. But everything else, I'm going to leave the crisscrossing. I think that's super adorable. Yeah, I like that. If I planned it though, I would have made it to all the edges, but oh well, right guys? Okay, and I have just a couple more things I was thinking I should do with this. I'm trying to find the bag. Okay, here it is. Going to glue one of these bows on. Fabri-Tac glue. Okay, just like that. And then I think I'm going to use one of these vintage looking hollies. Maybe. Yeah. Ooh, it's moving on me. Okay. Stay there. Stay there, Holly. Have to cut a little bit of that off. Okay. There. Look at that. Cute little shaker card. Very vintage. Super adorable. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to be making today, and I will see you guys back tomorrow and we'll do some more crafting. Talk to you later, guys. Also ring the bell, hit the like button, subscribe. See you later. Bye.